The crossword has voted in an engineering book among the non-fiction category as the best book of the year. The award is not for the book or the author, but the award is for all these millions and millions of people who are brave enough, instead of looking up in hope, are willing to turn inward to find their own solutions. For their courage, they need an award. So the crossword book award is for those people who have chosen to turn inward rather than looking up or looking out. Because looking up has caused one kind of distress, looking out has caused a completely different level of destruction. Looking inward is the only solution. Namaskaram. Once again, 7th International Day of Yoga, 7th anniversary of this wonderful possibility of yoga being acknowledged as a science of inner well-being. Not a religion, not a belief system, not a philosophy or ideology, but the science of inner well-being. As there are sciences for external well-being, this is a science for inner well-being. On this day, over 15,000 years ago, Adi Yogi turned south. As the sun's trajectory in relation to the planet turns south on this day, it's called the summer solstice. On this day, he turned south and began to propound the science of yoga. So this is a day that's been declared as International Day of Yoga. This particular International Day of Yoga is more significant than ever before. Simply because of the pandemic, we have realized as a generation of people how our lives can be just turned upside down. All of a sudden, without warning, the pandemic. So at a time like this, building a vibrant and resilient body, a joyful and focused mind, and indefatigable sense of energy within you is most essential to fight these external invasions, which scientists are predicting may happen again and again. Still, the pandemic is not over. We cannot say this is post-pandemic. This is pandemic season still. Already we have seen 2 waves in India and across the world, also in many different countries. The authoritative voices in this arena of life of virology are saying this could last much longer than we have imagined. So, it's extremely important that we build a system, we build a body which is resilient and a mind which is balanced and exuberant so that we can go through these rigors of life with least amount of distortions to our lives. So yoga is a tremendous possibility. Yoga is not a simple form of exercise, this is a complex mechanism, understanding the mechanics of human existence, how we are made and how we can take it to the highest possibility. The word yoga literally means union, that means we consciously obliterate the boundaries of our individuality to know the universal nature of our existence, how being here as a tiny little piece of life that we are in this cosmos, we are capable of experiencing the cosmos. Being here in this moment of time, we are capable of experiencing the eternal nature of this existence. This is a possibility that India offers to the rest of the world. Well, of course, there are health benefits, there are various other aspects that even to fulfill the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, this can be a very effective tool. Healthcare should go. Health and well-being, we must understand, can only come from within us. Doctors and scientists can help us when we are sick. But health is not something that'll ever come to us from a doctor or a medical professional. It is something that has to come from within us. If we understand this, health does not mean just being disease-free, health means you're at the peak of life. In terms of body, in terms of mind, in terms of emotions and energies, you are at the very peak possibility of your existence. This is health, and we should not aim for anything less than that. Yoga has this potency, yoga has the necessary science and technology to deliver you there. These tools of self-transformation, these technologies for well-being must be employed by everybody in their lives. We at Isha, particularly for this pandemic situation, this pandemic world that we are in right now, we have created a small package which will enhance the immune system and also bring equanimity to your mind and vibrancy to your body. This is a very simple package, investing a few minutes a day, free of cost. It's available online. Please make use of it. It is available in full detail and depth for those who are interested, and in a simple package for those who want to just do a simple practice. It is available everywhere, free of cost, and dedicated volunteers are always on call to attend to these possibilities with you and make sure that you benefit from this. Every human being on this planet should make use of it. It's my wish and my blessing. Every one of you should bring in some aspect of yoga into your life and live a complete life. It doesn't matter, pandemic has come our way, that is the reality, but we have to come on top of this. We have to come out successfully out of this situation, not be crushed by this situation. We as human beings are capable of this. I will once again repeat that this time around, this pandemic, the sole carrier of this virus is the human being. So if human beings are into some sense of yoga, that means they have become more conscious, not a compulsive life. If this happens, controlling and restraining the pandemic, stopping it in its tracks is very much in our hands. Let's make it happen. Let's take this stand on this International Day of Yoga. We will bring yoga into our life and definitely beat the virus.
Right now I hear there's only one phone in the United States, is the iPhone. It's a good phone, but what we are forgetting is the eye. The iPhone is all right, but the eye is the most important thing. iPhone is just a little gadget produced by this larger gadget. This is the gadget, isn't it? All the other gadgets have been produced by this gadget. If you pay little attention to…
There is an intelligence here, there is a competence here which can make a piece of bread into a human being, isn't it? If a drop of this intelligence became available to your conscious use, you would live magically.
Mysticism does not come from the East, it comes from within. Before you attempt anything that is considered as a mystical process, it's very important to stabilize the five fundamental elements within us. These are known as Panchabhutas or Mahatattvas in the yogic science. This body, this very earth, the universe and the cosmos, all are just a play of five elements. This body's composition is such that 72% of this body is water, approximately 12% is earth, 6% is air, 4% is fire, and the rest is space or akash. How these five elements behave within you will determine just about everything. Bhuta means element, Bhuta Shuddhi means to become free from the taint of elements or to cleanse the element. It means to become free from the physical nature. Right now, the physiological and the psychological processes are having a complete grip over most human beings. What we call as our physiology is something that we accumulated. What we call as our psychological process, the whole content for this is also accumulated in the form of impressions. Between these two, who you are
or existentially what is the nature of your being is completely missed. If one wants to access dimensions which are not yet in your experience, dimensions which are considered mystical, first thing that we need to do is to start cleansing the five elements so that in the purity of the elements, you distinctly know the difference between what is physical, what is psychological and what is existential. There is substantial evidence today to show that water has a great sense of memory. Everything that happens around a body of water is in some way stored in the water molecules. It is being referred to as a fluid computer. Among the five elements, water acquires the greatest significance because 72% of this body is water. If we take sufficient care about the water that we consume, not just in terms of its purity, it being bacteria-free and those kind of things, but the way the water is kept, in what kind of container you keep it, how you keep it, how you touch it, how you approach it. Because there is substantial scientific evidence today to show you that a thought, an emotion, a touch, these things can change the molecular structure of the water and greatly alter the way water behaves within your system. So, one needs to understand, you are not dealing with a commodity, you are dealing with life-making material. Water is life. It is just that right now it's outside of you. So before it enters your system, how you treat it? If you keep the water in a container which is metallic, preferably copper or an alloy of copper, and every day if you wash it with an organic substance and keep the water in a place where it is not touched by other smells and other substances, there is sufficient space around it, and when you approach it, if you can just hold this vessel with your hands with a certain sense of gratitude and reverence, because this is life-making material, and then consume it, you will see it will do wonders within your system. Healthfulness and equanimity will be a natural consequence of this. The soil that you walk upon has a certain sense of intelligence and memory. So even if you happen to live in a concrete jungle, it is important to keep in touch with the earth upon which you live. Create ways for yourself to somehow remain in touch with the soil or the earth upon which you live, that part of the earth. With your bare hands and bare feet, see particularly the palms and the soles, if they come in touch with the earth on a daily basis, at least for a few minutes, a certain harmonizing of the physiological process will happen just being in contact with the earth. If you spend at least a few minutes in your garden, barefooted, touching plants or trees, because this is the basis of your life. All life, yours and every other creature, has come out of this earth. Stay in touch with it and harmonize your system. Though air represents only 6% of your body's elemental constitution, it is the most dynamic part of the element in terms of the transaction that happens on a minute-to-minute basis. What kind of air you breathe is definitely important and that's well known, but how you breathe and how consciously you breathe is equally important. Especially those of you who are living in large cities, the kind of air that you breathe may not be in your hands. So it's good, at least for a few minutes, take a walk in the park, along the lake or the river or whatever is available to you. Especially if you have children, it is important that you take them out at least once a month, far away enough from the city where nature is in reasonably pure state, where they can climb a small hill or walk in a forest or swim in a river, something natural to be in touch with nature and to do something where breath will be in a dynamic state. This is not just for aerobic exercise, because constant exchange of air is happening from within and without, and the very intelligence in the body will take care of this, that when it senses the air is pure and alive, the way the body breathes is different, you can notice this, and the exchange will happen, cleansing will happen within the system, because breath per se is only 1 to 2% of the air transaction. The rest is happening in many other ways. So if you remain in pure air, it's important that you bring breath to a dynamic state with a certain activity. You don't have to do too vigorous an activity, just enough to see that you're breathing deep enough, slightly deeper than normal is happening to you for a period of time, and especially for growing children, this becomes very important, because this will greatly enhance the body's integrity and strength. But on a daily basis, if you're not able to take yourself out within the house, you can do a simple yogic practice called Nadi Shuddhi to cleanse the breath. Fire accounts for 4% of your elemental makeup. What kind of fire burns within you? Is it the fire of greed, hatred, resentment, anger, lust, love, compassion? If you take care of that, once again, your physical and mental well-being is well taken care of. You become an equanimous and exuberant being. A simple process you can do to cleanse the fire within you is get some sunlight every day. Fortunately, you cannot contaminate the sunlight. Though we have contaminated every other element, sunlight has remained pure. Make best use of that. If you wish to use fire, you can light a fire with an organic substance like straw or firewood without any oil, and stand facing the fire with your hands open and keep your eyes open for 3 minutes, then stand with your back to it, exposing your spine for 3 minutes. This will cleanse your aura and bring about a new sense of resurgence in the system. This is to rekindle and reconnect the fire within with the fires outside. This is the basis of all fire-based rituals in the East. If having a fire is not very practical for you, at least a lamp with vegetable oils or ghee, you light a lamp and be around this lamp, first face the lamp and sit, and then turn around and sit, so that the fire element within you gets rekindled. The fifth and the most expansive dimension of the elemental composition is Akash or etheric space. This has a certain intelligence. How this Akashic intelligence behaves within you determines the nature of your life. The nature, quality and the power of your life essentially is determined by how much access can you find into the Akashic intelligence. As I said, this is an expansive part of the elemental composition. That means there is no limit. There is only that much water, there is only that much air, that much earth and that much fire. But the Akashic dimension is a limitless possibility. If you find excess, in a limitless manner, both your perception and intelligence can grow. One simple process you can do to find more access to Akash or the Akashic intelligence is, after sunrise, before the sun crosses a 30-degree angle, you look up at the sky once and bow down to Akash for holding you and this planet in place. After the sun crosses 30 degrees, sometime during the day, any time, look up and bow down again. After the sunset, within the 40 minutes after sunset, look up at the sky and once again bow down. You are not bowing to any imaginary gods up there, just to the etheric space around us, which is holding everything that we are in place. If you get the Akash to cooperate with your life energies, life will happen in magical ways. An intelligence that you have never thought possible will become yours. For a human being to have an element of grace in their lives, Shambhavi Mudra is a process that is like opening a window so that one becomes receptive to grace.